Hi everyone, Big Pauly back for a brand new video. Back to talk about a couple of releases that were sent over from the lovely people at Fetch Publicity. Yes, on behalf of Cult Films. Yes, we have a couple of spaghetti westerns. I know. We have Django, which is Sergio Corbucci's 1966 western, starring Franco Nero, and we also have Django, we have Keoma, and A Bullet for the General. So we're going to have a look at these, unbox them, and I'll talk a little bit about the films. But first of all, let's start with the 4K of Django. Okay, so Django on 4K was released on special edition on the 11th of December. So it's available to buy now, and it's available from Cult Films, as you can see down the bottom there. It's a nice box set. It is numbered on the top there. First of all, I'm just going to read a little bit of a synopsis and a bit of information for you. So Sergio Corbucci's groundbreaking Django is one of the greatest and most influential westerns ever. Seminal yet banned for decades, its aesthetics of visual cruelty transcended the genre and shaped today's filmmaking language. Its major influence is declared by Quentin Tarantino, and yet I did feel a bit of Quentin Tarantino among many other Hollywood directors and seen in all his films. Django, played by the legendary Franco Nero, is the mysterious lone gunslinger who, dragging a coffin behind him, arrives in a bleak, mud-drenched town where he will face two ruthless gangs of sadistic killers. The film is presented uncut from a new 4K restored elements. This definitive version is pristinely faithful to the original filmmaker's vision. Yes, okay, so yeah, it was really good. It was an hour and a half. There are two audio versions of this available. You've got an English dubbed version, which steer clear of it. Steer clear of it. It's not very good. Yeah, I thought I'd test that out a little bit, but then I decided to watch the full Italian language with English subtitles. Much better. So I stick to the Italian one. Yeah, so Franco Nero plays Django, and Django just wanders into this deserted old western town, just dragging a coffin along with him. You don't know what's in the coffin. Many of the townsfolk have actually gone because there's been a war, so everybody's gone to war. This old western town is deserted, apart from a landlord in an old bar and a couple of prostitutes. Everybody else is gone. They've all gone off to war, deserted the town. And Django strolls in with Maria, who he saved from a gang of Mexicans on the way, and just basically come for a drink and a rest and a sleep. So Django's kind of like caught in between two factions. You've got Major Jackson and his southern racists that don't like the Mexicans, and they wear these kind of red Ku Klux Klan type banners and hoods, and you've also got the Mexicans as well. But to start with, we don't know what's in the coffin. I mean, who has he dragged along with him? When we do get to see what's actually in this coffin that Django drags into the town, let's just say that old Schwarzenegger would approve. So Django's caught in the middle between these Mexicans and these racist Southerners, and it's just shoot-ups and outwitting them. So it's a typical western. It's a typical spaghetti western, the Clint Eastwood style, yeah. And this was from 1966. So let's just do a little unboxing, and I'll talk a little bit about the picture and the sound. So there we go. So we have a nice glossy box there with the spine, and also we have all the information on the back there about the film, a couple of screenshots and the special features as well. And it comes with one disc. The 4K includes a new interview with Franco Nero, who plays Django. We have Django and me, a new interview with Ruggero I'm gonna butcher these names. Diodato, of Cannibal Holocaust fame, on being Sergio Corbucci's assistant. We have Alex Cox, creator of BBC Moviedrome and cult director Repo Man, defines Django. We have a perfect bound 64-page booklet with a foreword by Franco Nero, Django the Western cranked up by Kevin Grant, art card with original posters, a new reworked English subtitles and additional SDH. And it's available on special edition 4K from the 11th of December. So let's just have a quick look inside. So that's what you get inside there. It is numbered. I have 1978. So we have a nice card here. So there we get the original posters there. Very nice, very Western poster. And we also have Django and Django, which I'll talk about in a little bit in a minute. There is the book. So we get a nice book. Really thick book there. And we have all about the making of the film in there. And it goes on and on. Lots and lots of pictures as well. Very thick book. Very good quality. Yeah, very nice. So, what is it? 64 pages. Very nice. Okay, so there is the 4K cover. It actually does have alternate artwork on the opposite side. But I'm not going to show that because it's a spoiler to the film. So it will actually spoil part of the film. And it's good to go into the film not knowing what the circumstances around this coffin that he's dragging into town. But we do get one disc there with the red, bright red. There we go. So that is Django. There is also a documentary on here called Django and Django, which Quentin Tarantino talks about the influence of the film, how it affected him and how it shaped his filmmaking. And you can clearly see in this film where Tarantino got his ideas from. So not only do you have a film that lasts an hour and a half, but you also have an hour and 20-minute documentary with Quentin Tarantino talking about his influence and the how it shaped his movie career. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I'd definitely go for the Italian language option with the subtitles. There was no problems with reading the subtitles, followed the entire film. You know, the audio on it is dual mono. So it's not a big extravagant 5.1 or Atmos soundtrack. So you're just basically getting the front speakers. There's not a lot of depth in the subwoofer, so the audio is not spectacular, but the picture quality does make up for it. There is a thin layer of grain throughout the film, but it doesn't detract. You know, this is from 1966, so you're gonna get some grain throughout the film. It's been nicely cleaned up. There's a lot of detail, especially when you see like the horrible old greasy Mexicans up close, and you get the mud and stuff like that. You can see all the fine detail in it, so they've done a really good restoration job on it. So yeah, if you really like, you know, Clint Eastwood, you like your westerns, so if you want another western to watch to accompany your Clint Eastwood, then definitely pick up Django from Cult Films on 4K, and go for the Italian language option. But yeah, I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was really good. Pacing was good. The characters, most of the characters were likeable. Django came across as that type of Clint Eastwood, sultry, don't give a damn kind of attitude. Played brilliantly by Franco Nero. So definitely give that one a go. Okay, so next up, we're going to talk about Keoma and also a bullet for the General. This is a Blu-ray box set. I'll talk about the release of this one in a minute. But this also includes the Blu-ray version of Django as well. But we won't cover that because we've already gone over it with the 4K. But I will have a quick look to see what the picture quality is like on the Blu-ray. But we'll mainly be talking about Keoma and a bullet for the General. So let me watch these and I'll be back shortly. Okay, so next up we have a Blu-ray box set of spaghetti westerns. Yes, this includes Django, which we've just talked about, Keoma and A Bullet for the General as well. This also includes Django and Django, which is the hour and 20-minute documentary with Quentin Tarantino. But as for Keoma, it's directed by Enzo Castellari. It's from 1976 and also stars Franco Nero again. Before I talk a little bit about the film, let me just read the synopsis on the back here. Acknowledged as a swan song, this late Western masterpiece is directed by Enzo Castellari, whom Tarantino regards as his maestro and a cinematic icon. Screen legend Franco Nero reprises his relentless, deadly gunslinger persona, now as the eponymous Keoma, who, returning to his hometown, finds that it is now ruled by a gang of sadistic killers. Aided by an old friend, played by Woody Strode, Keoma fights the ruthless bunch to the bitter last man standing end. This gritty, no-holds-barred Western is presented from 2K restored vault materials, showcasing its iconic set pieces and its striking action cinematography as never before. And for the first 10 or 15 minutes of the film, it kind of has similarities to Django. You know, a lone man wandering into this Western town. He saves this damsel who's pregnant in the film and heads straight for the local saloon, whereas you get the landlord and a load of prostitutes. So very similar to Django. As he goes up against the baddie in order to save the town, because there's an illness, a plague that's going around, and a group of these soldiers take the people that have the plague into this cave, and they want to take the pregnant woman. They say that she's got this plague, and he tries to save her. And as he tries to save this woman from being slung into the mines, he has these visions and memories of when he grew up, and his dad and his 3 brothers, and he was looked at as kind of a half-breed, and he meets up again with his brothers later on and his father, and there's this big shootout in this western town. The audio again on this is mono, so there's nothing spectacular. The picture quality is pretty good, not quite as sharp as the 4K on Django, but still a lot of detail in there. And yeah, you can see a lot of detail on the faces. The cinematography looks good. Some good action in the film. Lots of shootouts, lots of stunts. There's also a lot of over-exaggeration as well. I think which comes across in the actual soundtrack itself. Now, again, this comes with the Italian version, and it also comes with an English dubbed version. Again, the English dubbed version is not the one that you want to go with. A lot of the overacting comes from like screams when they get shot. You know, someone gets shot and they goes, "Ah!" And after certain big scenes in the film, you get presented with a musical vocal dialogue, which is sung. And it's supposed to give you an insight into what's happening and where they're going and what they're doing. It does come across as quite comical at times, though. It's like, "I'm riding into town with these 2 horses and a pregnant woman who's gonna give birth." And it's like that. They do that quite a lot through the film. Oh yeah, that was quite funny. But overall, yeah, I thought it was an okay film. It wasn't as good as Django because it used a lot of the same techniques and a lot of the same parts of the story and just threw it in a new story. So there was a lot of recognisable stuff that was in Django. But I thought it was good. I thought it was an okay film. And the Keoma disc does come with some special features as well, including an interview with director Enzo G. Castellari on the making of Keoma. You've got an interview with the editor. Alex Cox presents Keoma. You've got Westerns and Crime Flicks by Enzo Castellari. And new reworked English subtitles and additional SDH. Okay, yes, so there we go. So that is Keoma. It's an okay film, but not as good as Django. I had more fun with Django. But there we go. So that's the second film done. We will talk about A Bullet for the General shortly. And then I'll do a proper unboxing of this Blu-ray box set, which is actually not due out until January the 8th. So yeah, let's move on to A Bullet for the General. Okay, so last up from the spaghetti western is A Bullet for the General. And I'm just going to read a little synopsis on the back of the box, and then I'll just talk a little bit about the film. Right, are you sitting comfortably? Okay, so a covert US assassin is sent to kill a general who is one of the leaders of the Mexican Revolution. He infiltrates a gang of guerrillas led by the charismatic El Chuncho, played by Gian Maria Volente of the Dollars films, with his lieutenants, the crazed priest Klaus Kinski, and the beautiful Adelita, 007's Martine Beswick. As the rebels go on the rampage stealing weapons, they unwittingly lead the assassin to the general, and the US agent has a bullet for him. A Bullet for the General established the politically imbued Zapata Western genre, finally presented in superb high definition, essential in showcasing the lavish widescreen cinematography, and it does look beautiful. Elevated by the exuberant music from Oscar winner Ennio Morricone. Yeah, really good music as well. Quentin Tarantino, whose admiration for spaghetti westerns provided the curating thread of this box set. I think Bullet for the General is one of the greatest spaghetti westerns ever made. It was a really good film. Definitely my second best film from this collection. It basically starts out with this big train going across the desert. So it's basically infiltrated by a gang of Mexican revolutionaries on horseback. They stop the train, and they want to steal the weapons. They're basically gun runners, and they steal all these weapons to take to this high-ranking general in the Mexican army, where they could get paid lots and lots of pesos. Now, when they infiltrate this train, they find this gentleman all dressed very nicely in a suit, and he ends up going with them, being part of this merry band of revolutionaries. But he's got his own agenda, and he's just along for the ride. But yeah, I thought it was really good. The landscape, the cinematography was fantastic. The acting was good, especially by, what was his name? Gian Maria Volente, who played El Chunto. He was really good. I didn't have such a problem with the dub on this version. Again, I watched the natural Italian version, but it didn't seem too over the top. The dialogue fitted in much better on this than some of the previous films. The music is really good by Ennio Morricone, typical Western stuff. The sound again was in mono, but it made up for it with the picture quality, which was high definition. And yeah, it looks really good. Looks clean, a thin layer of grain throughout, but lots of detail in things like faces and beards. And it looks really good. Now, there are some special features on A Bullet for the General as well, including Alex Cox introduces A Bullet for the General, interview with the director, Damiani, I think that's how you pronounce it, and a new reworked English subtitles and additional SDH. So again, another good film in the Spaghetti Western series there. So that's the Spaghetti Western box set done, which included Django, Keoma and A Bullet for the General. Let's just do a little unboxing on this. So we have a nice glossy box there and a nice spine. We also have some writing on the top there. And then there is the back. Let me just put that into focus so you can have a read of that. So it tells you basically what I've read out about each of the films. And also down there some of the specifications of the audio and the subtitles. That's what the side looks like. So let's take that out. Nice box. We do get a couple of kind of like poster cards inside. So first of all, let's get them in order. So there we go. So we have Django there. Very nice. On the reverse, we have Django and Django, which I'll just talk a little bit about in a minute. Then we have Keoma. And we have another one on the back there. And then we have a bullet for the General. Fantastic. So yeah, a couple of nice little cards there. Inside, that's the main Blu-ray. So you get Django up there. You get Keoma down the bottom there, and a bullet for the General there. Again, the same information on the back. Inside, we get 3 discs. So the film is spread over each of the discs. And we do get some information on the inside there. So we have a bit more about the films and a bit more of the credits as well. So there we go. So that is the Spaghetti Westerns collection there with three great films. And I watched the documentary with Quentin Tarantino as well, which is about 1 hour and 20 minutes. And it dived into the history of Sergio Corbucci and also Sergio Leone as well. And Quentin Tarantino, how the influence sort of like steered his film career, and you can clearly see it in films such as Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Django Unchained, and even Kill Bill, and certain things in like Reservoir Dogs as well. So yeah, Tarantino goes into depth about what he loves about all of these films, the whole genre of spaghetti westerns, and how they shaped his movie career. And I think this is a really good package because you get 3 films, so you're getting about 5.5 to 6 hours worth of movie watching, plus also 1 hour and 20 minutes for the documentary. So you're getting a good over 7 hours of entertainment. That's not even including any of the special features, and you get that in that one package. Fantastic. So and this is coming out on January the 8th. So if you do love your westerns, then I would definitely advise picking that up because it's well worth it for the money. Also the Django, the 4K, which I've also watched as a good package. I tallied up the picture quality between Django on 4K and the Django on the Blu-ray. Although the Blu-ray is really good and clean, I would definitely go for the 4K because it shows that extra crispiness and extra colour palette. Fantastic. So there we go. So that is 2 great packages there of spaghetti westerns. So if you've got a bit of spare Christmas money left over, go and buy some spaghetti westerns. Yeah. And you'll really be impressed with a couple of these films. These were all first time watches for me, and I really enjoyed all of them. Yeah, so there we go. Again, thank you very much to my friends over at Alternate Current for sending these over to review. Django, the 4K is already out. That came out in December. And the Spaghetti Westerns one there comes out on the 8th of January. So you've only got about a week to wait for them. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Like the video by giving it some thumbs up. Blah, 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 blah. Don't forget to subscribe, comment and share. I hope that Cult Films do bring out a lot more of these box sets, because there's a lot of these spaghetti westerns, these Italian spaghetti westerns out there waiting to be watched and appreciated for the first time for new audiences like myself. So yeah, so I hope they bring out a couple more of these. But hope you enjoyed the video. Till the next one, bye bye.